Let's talk Meghan Sussex. I'm going to give you the most simple explanation of her surname. I've done a ton of videos on this already, but considering that was probably 30 to 70,000 followers ago, we'll do an updated one. It is very simple. It's a very simple explanation. When Prince Harry married, Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth conferred the title Duke of Sussex upon Harry. And as is custom, Harry's surname became Sussex. When his father was still the Prince of Wales, because I always like to try and show example, Harry's surname was that of his father's highest title, which was Prince of Wales at the time. As you can see here, Harry Wales. When Harry got married and the Queen gave him his dukedom, he was no longer Harry Wales, he became Harry Sussex. Therefore, when Meghan married Harry, she became Meghan Sussex, technically, if she needed to use a surname. Of course, though, we would refer to them as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, or how Meghan prefers to be styled now is Meghan, she is the Duchess of Sussex. That would be the correct way to address her, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, or just the Duchess of Sussex. Therefore, when her friend Mindy was on the show with Love Meghan, and she referred to her as Meghan Markle, which I don't know why there was such an issue there, because any married woman out there would correct somebody if they address them with an incorrect surname or not their married name. And how Meghan explained it is absolutely perfect. I have no notes on that. So I would refer you back to that episode for a further explanation, but I'm keeping it simple. Now, the surname of descendants of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip is Mountbatten Windsor. If an individual is not a descendant of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, their surname is Windsor, which is the house name of the British royal family. And that goes back to King George V, who issued letters patent in 1917, naming the house Windsor from its former Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, because obviously that was around the time of the World War, and the British royal family needed to distance themselves from their German relations and German titles and all of that. So to sum it up, if Meghan needed to use a surname, she could use Sussex. That does not, though, stop her from using Mountbatten Windsor. She can use Mountbatten Windsor if she wanted to, because she is married to a descendant of the late Queen. Prince Harry could use the surname of Mountbatten Windsor, but that is not customary. If he needed to use a surname, he would be Harry Sussex. Just as if you look on the royal family website, Prince Archie of Sussex, Princess Lilibet of Sussex. They will be known that until Lilibet gets married. Then whenever she gets married, if she gets married, she will take on the surname of her husband and then be titled Princess Lilibet, Mrs. Whatever. She would drop the of Sussex. But as long as Meghan is married to Harry, she is the Duchess of Sussex, or if needed, Meghan Sussex. I hope that clears it up. That is as simple as I can give it to you. This comment is regards to Meghan Sussex, by the way. It's like constantly correcting everyone and insisting on being addressed Dr. instead of Mr. Technically, sure, but it's obviously motivated by a need to assert superiority. Not great, ... Well, it's clear you don't hold the title of doctor, nor clearly do you have a doctorate. And as somebody who holds a master's degree in the United States, if someone went to medical school or obtained a doctorate, they have earned the right to correct somebody and say, I am Dr. such and such. Just as any woman who has married and has taken on the surname of their husband, or in this case, the female equivalent of their husband's title, they have the right to correct someone. Now, I'm a homosexual, and depending on if my future husband's last name is cute enough and I decide to take it, if somebody still refers to me as my, well, I wouldn't be called maiden name, Mr. Name, I would politely correct him. I'm sorry, I am Everett, blah, blah, blah. Because legally, that's what I am. And legally, that's what she is. So I'm confused on how you took a one-time situation of her correcting somebody and thought, oh, constantly. And then I don't know why you thought I was going to explain how the Wells's name wouldn't get used. Baby, I'm not explaining anything to you because you couldn't even comprehend what I said. It's very clear you are not fastidious, and if you don't know what that word is, look it up. Meghan Sussex is emphatically, and if you don't know what that word means, look it up, correct in correcting anyone and how she should be addressed. That one time. Have the day you deserve.
Legit question in good faith. What happens when William takes the throne? And I'm responding to this question because I said nothing. I'm afraid that's not strictly correct. Any monarch can change the titles of the royals, as indeed the Queens did with Edward, now the Duke of Edinburgh, but was Wessex. I was going to type you a response, however, it would have been way too long. One, you didn't understand the question. When this question is asked, this means are Harry and Meghan's titles going to change? They're not, which is the reason why I said nothing happens. I get this question all the time. There is a bill out to allow the monarch to take away titles without parliament, but that bill is not in place yet. And that bill has been out there, I think, for 2 years now, and it's still in the beginning stages. And what you're referring to in terms of Edward's title, Edward was always going to be the Duke of Edinburgh. However, he can't be the Duke of Edinburgh if the Duke of Edinburgh at the time was still the Duke of Edinburgh. Therefore, he took a lesser title, Earl of Wessex, until, of course, he could become the Duke of Edinburgh. And his brother become king because the title had to revert back to the crown before he could be bestowed the title. So it's not the same. At present, the monarch does not have the power to take away titles. That still resides with Parliament, which is why there is what's it called? Removal of Titles Bill, which is still at the House of Commons. And it was last updated November 2nd, 2023, which, as I said before, would give the monarch at the time the power to, as you can see here, remove titles on their own initiative. So I am strictly correct, and no shade, but you just misunderstood.